Thank you for joining our presentation, everyone. My name is Allysha, and I will be kicking us off today with the Rural Waste Collection Monitoring Enhancement Project, followed by Andronette Marshall, who will focus on the performance measurement baseline. Then there is Anastasia Barlow. She will be focusing on the project analytics schedule control. Miss Desiree Smith, she will be focusing on relationship management, and Errol Tomlinson will be closing us off.
Primary goal for this project is to modernize the National Solid Waste Management Authority operations in rural parishes across the island of Jamaica. These operations include the collection, disposal, and management of solid waste, which is imperative for protecting people's health as well as promoting environmental sustainability. Now, I must say that we have recognized that the country has made consistent efforts to develop these systems. However, it is woefully insufficient within rural communities. These inefficiencies stem from the long distances to disposal facilities, insufficient number of fleets, and non-uniform service delivery. In the bigger picture, we've recognized that poor waste management has led to environmental degradation, health hazard to the population, and lower community satisfaction. Together, this justifies the needs for better monitoring and control systems because conventional system in most cases does not incorporate real-time data or adaptive decision making, which limits system performance in dynamic contexts, right? On the same note, resource allocation inefficiencies and a lack of coordination in these systems are common for waste management systems, especially where infrastructural gaps are present. With this in mind, the project aims to overcome these systematic challenges by incorporating high-tech monitoring suites featuring GPS tracking, smartphone reporting, and photographic verification. Together, these will enhance NSWMA operational effectiveness, accountability, and service delivery in undeserved rural areas. This shift will present a more responsive model. We will adapt a hybrid approach to implement this model over the next 3 months, and this model it will comprise of a conventional governance framework with an agile iterative development approach. This method is especially appropriate for public sector digital transformational initiatives where compliance, accountability, and adaptability must coexist.
My colleague will now address the performance measurement baseline.
Thank you very much. I am Andronette Marshall and I continue the performance measurement baseline. The performance measurement baseline shows how the Rural Waste Collection Monitoring Enhancement Project will be planned and controlled. It combines scope, schedule, and cost into one framework used to measure performance. The scope baseline defines key deliverables like offline data capture, GPS tracking, and dashboards. The schedule baseline outlines the 8-week timeline, including critical activities and milestones. The cost baseline tracks the project budget using tools like planned value and earned value. All of this is monitored through a central system to ensure the project stays on time within the scope and within budget. Next, we have the scope and change management. This project uses a hybrid approach to manage scope and change, combining structural planning with flexible development. Predictive methods helps to control the budget and overall plan, while agile practices allow for continuous improvements. Any changes to scope, cost, or schedule must go through a formal change request process to ensure proper approval. To prevent scope creep, stakeholders' feedback is continuously reviewed and prioritized, focusing only on high-value updates. This approach will allow the project to adapt to challenges while maintaining control and delivering expected results. Next, integrated change control. Integrated change controls ensures that all project changes are managed in a structured way. The process starts with submitting a formal change request followed by an impact analysis to assess effects on budget and timeline. The Change Control Board then reviews and approves necessary changes. Once approved, updates are implemented and communicated to stakeholders. In this project, examples include adding offline data capture, managing GPS delay, and extending tests for accuracy. This process helps maintain stability while allowing important improvements to be made. Thank you. I pass you on.
On the schedule side, we're focusing on keeping things moving within our 3-month window. We did run into some early hiccups with getting the hardware and finishing up extended testing, but we're using MS Project to track the big milestones while running agile sprints for the actual tech build. The main thing for us right now is a critical path. We're prioritizing tasks with zero slack to make sure one small delay doesn't blow out our 8-week rollout. We're constantly looking at performance trends across our sprint so we can pivot in real time if we see things slowing down. Now looking at the money, our baseline was 40 million, but we're currently projecting a total cost of 50 million. Our efficiency is sitting at 0.80, which basically means for every dollar we spend, we are seeing 80 cents of progress. This gap is mostly from the extra work we put into perfecting the offline feature for rural areas. To keep things tight, we have set up milestone gates, so we only pay vendors once a sprint is fully verified. We are also pulling in our own staff for training roles to cut down on consultant fees and try to claw back on some of that variance. For quality and risk, we're obsessed with making sure this actually works in the field. We're validating everything against a 95% accuracy standards for the GPS. Our biggest hurdle was always going to be the spotty internet in rural parishes. So we tackle the risk head-on by building offline data capture into the app. On the procurement side, we're staying agile, tracking our hardware suppliers daily and keeping backups ready so that shipping delays don't stall the mission. It's all about building a system that the NSWMA can truly trust.
For the NSWMA project, relationship management focused on maintaining clear communication across rural zones using a push-pull model while actively engaging stakeholders throughout implementation. Resistance from drivers was addressed through workshops that positioned GPS as a support tool rather than surveillance, improving acceptance and usage. Ongoing engagement was maintained through monthly meetings with NSWMA operations to review dashboard performance and ensure the system remained practical, user-friendly, and aligned with real operational needs. The procurement control ensured that vendor performance was consistently monitored against delivery timelines, technical requirements, and service standards to avoid delays in system deployment. Performance data was integrated into regular project reviews, allowing early identification of issues and corrective actions such as escalation or contract enforcement. Additionally, procurement variations and vendor claims were formally documented, assessed for impact, and approved before implementation, ensuring accountability, cost control, and protection of the project baseline. The project closing process for NSWMA ensured that all deliverables were verified and approved, documentation was completed, and resources were properly released. Procurement activities were formally closed by completing contracts, finalizing payments, and evaluating vendor performance. This structured closeout confirmed that project objectives were achieved, all contractual obligations were met, and the system was successfully implemented, providing a solid foundation for future expansion and continuous improvement.
Lessons learned. This slide highlights the key lessons learned from the project. Flexibility was critical because rural areas have different infrastructure and connectivity challenges, so the team had to adapt quickly. Offline data capture was essential to ensure that the system worked even without internet access. Continuous stakeholder engagement and strong communication helped improve the system and allow quick problem solving. Additionally, risk planning helped manage delay and uncertainty, while proper training ensured field staff could effectively use the system. Recommendations. This slide presents key recommendations for future projects. First, adopting a continuous improvement approach will help address performance gap before expanding the system. Improving pre-implementation planning through early testing and pilot phase will reduce issues during execution. Procurement process should also be strengthened by securing backup suppliers and maintaining contingency plan. Finally, ongoing stakeholder engagement and training are important to ensure the system remains effective and user-friendly. And now we'll move on to the conclusion. The project successfully introduced a digital solution that improves waste management in rural areas. In maintaining control over costs and schedule while addressing infrastructure challenges. By using performance monitoring and structured system, the project ensures reliability and consistency. Overall, it improves transparency, accountability, and service delivery across rural communities. The following slides show our references. I thank you.